Okay. Okay. So just sitting in mountain pose, taking the time to connect to your body, feeling your feet on the ground, your hands on your lap, and your bottom in the chair. And just kind of moving a little around on your bottom, just kind of feeling the connection, the pressure, maybe going back and forth with a few rocks and side to side, connecting with the bones, dropping out of the head more into the body. And then just trying to find that sweet spot on your sit bones where you feel like you're sitting upright with as little effort as possible. Bringing the shoulders over the hips, lifting the shoulders up towards the ears and rolling the shoulder blades down and back. And tuning into your breath. Let's take 3 breaths, inhaling through the nose, opening the mouth, exhaling with a nice long sigh. With each sigh, softening from the inside. Letting go of resistance. Those dark places that maybe don't get a lot of attention on the inside. And then just bring the hands together at the heart, gently pressing the palms together, keeping the shoulders relaxed, pulling the elbows away. And then dropping the chin towards the chest and saluting the teacher within. Feeling that connection between the mind and the heart, the thinking self and the feeling self. And then releasing the hands to your thighs, separate your feet and let's circle the hips. Going the other way. And then making your way back up to mountain pose. And realigning yourself. Sorry. And then let's take some cat-cow. Coordinating your breath and your movement, inhaling, arching, and exhaling, rounding. And then after this exhale, come back to mountain pose. Roll your shoulders. And then roll them in the other direction. And then just again, making sure that your shoulders are back and down. And we'll circle the head and neck. Going in the other direction if you haven't changed already. And then making your way back to neutral. And let's drop the right ear to the right shoulder. And then drop to the left. Just go back and forth a few times. Just letting the head be heavy so that maybe it drops a little closer to the shoulder each time you go. And then finish up on your second side. And coming back to the center, turn your head to the right, looking over that right shoulder, and then turning to the left. And go back and forth and try to keep your trunk, your torso stable. So you're not turning your shoulder girdle or your ribs with your head, just turning the head separately. And then finishing up on the second side. Come back to mountain pose. And let's twist the trunk now around to the right. Maintain a tall spine. And then go in the other direction. And then release. Let's go ahead and get our second chair. And just open up your second chair with the back of your chair to your right side. And we're just gonna reach over, get the chair close enough to you, which you can lean over and put your right hand in your chair seat. And then bring your left arm across the front of your body. Reach it to the right. Try not to turn your head to the right. Keep your head forward. Then bring your arm back over that left ear. Okay, so let's do that again. So watch me. So I just did like this. So notice I kept my head forward. I'm not doing that because when I do that, turns my whole ribs. So I'm not turning my ribs. I want my ribs to stay forward and then I'm just bringing my arm overhead. And why are we doing it that way? Because I want you to really feel what happens in your shoulder joint. You know, when we bring the arm up and over like that, that's one way, but it's not the only way. This is a little less stress on your shoulders. Okay, so just leaning into the chair to hold your weight and kind of pushing the chair forward. And when I say forward, to the right, so that your ribs kind of are drawing more to the left. And then bring that arm back in front of your face and down and come back up. So it's not a full rotation of the shoulder, okay? So kind of taking it a little slower. So take the chair over to the left and put your left hand. So Richard, you could just take your right hand and grab hold of the back of your chair and then push with your hand. So push this left hand forward and take your ribs to the right. So you kind of get the same thing, but you're not using your shoulder or your arm to make that stretch. Okay, so you're kind of keeping your right shoulder more relaxed. Or you could try just stretching it if that doesn't hurt. Just try stretching it in front of your face. But if that creates pain, just put your hand down. And then if you're bringing the arm over your ear, do that. And then bring the arm back in front of you and down. And sit back up. Okay, so bring the chair now in front of you. And kind of push it away and slide your hips back. So if you got a challenged shoulder, bring your right arm, if I'm talking to Richard, rest it on your legs. Push the chair away with your left arm and just come into a good hip and back stretch with one hand on the chair. If you don't have that issue, both hands can go on the back of the chair. And just push down with the hand or hands that are on the back of the chair to kind of get a little lift of your ribs. And roll your outer arm bones down. So it feels like the inner arms that are closest to the face are pushing upwards towards the ceiling. So there's more weight to the outer hands. And then keep the neck long. Don't drop the head. Keep it in line with your arms if you can, or above the arms. And then come back, both hands to the thighs. And then let's take the chair, bring it over to the right. And again, either one arm or both arms, stretching to the right. And just push the chair to a distance in which you're getting your stretch, the one that feels best to you. If this, you may, if you're trying to do it with both arms straight, and if you're tight in your shoulders, walk your hands out to the sides of the chair rather than on top of the chair. And just kind of hold on so that you're kind of pulling your arms apart, giving a little more space to the chest, giving more space to that area where the neck meets the shoulder. Doesn't feel like you're scrunching up there, but still rolling the arm bones just like you did when you were going forward. Outer arms rolling down, inner arms pulling up. And then bring your hands back to your thighs and press yourself up again. And then put your chair over to the left. And so especially if it's your, right arm that's bothering you, if you stretch it too much, just do with the left arm. Just focus on that shoulder rotation. Inner arms up, outer arms down, head in line with the arms. And then hands to the thighs and press yourself up. Sit in mountain pose and just feel the sensations, feel the energy that got released through that stretch. Okay, so let's bring the chair once again over to the right side. And you'll probably have to move the chair once you get into it. So sit towards the front right corner and stretch your right leg straight. And just come on to the center of the heel. And then take your left hand to the top of the chair. You could take it to the seat of the chair, although that's a pretty big stretch. And just push it out there. You can take your right hand onto your right leg if you don't have it up, and if that's, not bothering your shoulder. Keep your shoulder blades down your back. And just stretching not only the shoulder, but the back of that leg. So just let yourself exhale and just soften everything down. Just let your body weight and carry you further and further over that right leg. And then you'll make your way back up. Let's move the chair, other side. stretch the left leg out. So I'm gonna suggest if you're protecting your right shoulder, you do what you did on the other side. You leave your right hand on your left leg and use your left arm to reach out. Stay on the center of that left heel. Don't let the leg roll in or out. And then bring yourself back into mountain pose. And bring the chair now right in front of you. Turn it around so the seat of the chair is facing you. And then sit way back in the chair seat so that your thighs, your back of your thighs are on your chair. And then again, either one arm or both arms stretching forward, right over the legs. And once you've been there for a few breaths, start to walk your arms forward in your chair to lengthen your spine a little bit more. Feel the length on your side waist. And then walk in and come out. Sitting back to mountain pose. And then get your bolster, whatever you're using for a bolster. And we're just gonna put it in the chair that's in front of us. And bring that chair a little closer. Too close, you can always adjust it. And we're gonna bring our forearms into the chair. Okay, and I want you to draw your shoulder blades down your back, lift your chest up. So you're kind of creating a bit of a cobra or sphinx pose. So let your spine kind of move towards the front of your body. So this is a great strengthening pose for the back, but you want to make sure that you're moving from the chest and the shoulders, not the neck. Okay, so the neck follows the lowest part of the spine. So the arch starts to come from way down by your hips, slowly climbs up in an arc back to join the neck. And the neck just takes a very natural shape based on how much you're able to extend through your spine. And then let your elbows go out to the side and just rest your head down on the back of your hands. And then we'll do that again. So come up onto your forearms first, because we're going to go a little further with this. And I'm going to change my orientation so that you can maybe see if it's not clear. Okay, so we're on our forearms, shoulder blades down the back. I'm pressing forward with my spine. Pressing down through the elbows to keep the shoulders away from the ears. And at the same time, kind of pulling my arm bones apart to make space from my neck out to my shoulder. Then from there, I'm just gonna go back a little bit, come up onto my hands, fingertips, continuing to arch, shoulder blades down, chest up. And then back down to the forearms. And then finally, elbows out to the side, head on the back of the hands and rest. And then let's come up onto the hands. So we're not extending the spine. We're just coming up with the hands on the bolster. Spread them a little wider than your shoulders. And I want you to just bend the elbows and just bring your head towards your bolster without letting your elbows go out to the side. So keep them going back and then push them straight down and straighten the elbows. So I want you to feel the pushing. So push with your hands to bring your trunk back up and straighten your elbows. And then you relax to go forward, then push down. So let your torso kind of be like, dead weight. Like it doesn't have any muscle in it. So you're moving your torso through the strength of your arms. So just bending the elbows, letting the head come towards the bolster, pushing down so you feel those muscles contract until they're straight. So a couple more times. This isn't terribly difficult, but it is very effective. So and then hold yourself there and pull your navel back and pick up one foot. Just pick up one foot as you hold your navel back. Put that foot down with the other foot. Keep pressing, keep drawing in through your abdominals and then back and then both feet. Pull both feet up and then put them back down. Relax, go forward. And then again, push up onto the hands. Elbows nice and straight. Roll those arm bones out. So the outer arm is going back away from the front of your body and the inner arm is moving forward. So holding that position. Let's bend the elbows again and bring the face down. And then push to come back up. And again. Now, just, a few of these can feel like you're not doing anything. But after you've done 6, 7 of these, you'll start to feel the work. It's not as easy as it seems like it should be. And then stay up, separate your hands a little bit, push down strongly. Don't hug your head back into your shoulders or your neck back into your shoulders. Keep the spine as long as you can, but draw the navel back. Kind of firm everything up and then lift one foot up. Hold it and continue to breathe. And then put it back down. Other leg, lift, hold your navel back. Shoulder blades down. See if you can really figure out what are you using to do this lift? What muscles, what part of your body? And then down, and then both legs up. Keep rolling those arm bones out, pull them apart, and then put them down. You should feel all those back muscles working. And then go forward and rest. And bring the bolster now into your lap. And just push down on it with your hands and try to lift your ribs. Lift your ribs up and over that bolster. And then just fold forward. Let your ribs completely relax. Let your head relax. Feel the stretch in your back. And then come back up. Take your bolster and put it underneath your chair, between the two chair legs. Not all the way, just kind of stuff it under there. And then bring your hands, you can move your chair over a little bit and just bring the right foot and ankle over that bolster. Okay. Once you do that, bring the left foot forward more and then sit up and lean back. You'll get a nice good stretch on the front of that thigh. And the straighter that you make that front leg, the more you'll feel the stretch. And if you bring that leg up into the chair, even more stretch. So you can kind of pick your place. Most of us have extremely tight thighs. We need this really badly. So we're just going to hold this in whatever position that you're found that works. And remember, if it bothers you at all, it's not bothering me in my back, but I know it can. Some people kind of lift up and pull your buttocks flesh forward. And that will get some of that kind of pinchy feeling. This is a great stretch. You feel it? Yeah, I do too. I'm trying to figure out a good stretch for this muscle for years. In which that's supported. I mean, I know a lot of good ones without any support, but it's hard to do this in a supported position. This is really getting to that muscle really well. And I happen to be one of those, kind of weird people that really enjoy feeling of stretch. The deeper, the better. So I can kind of hold these for a long time. If you need to come out before I do, don't feel like you have to stay here if it's, really uncomfortable or painful. This feels unbelievably good to me. I don't think Richard is having a similar experience though. You're there. Is that where you are, Cookie? Just kind of in the middle. It's okay. You can survive it. It's going to feel really good when you come out. Okay, so coming out, you want to come out carefully. You can twist your knee if you just try to pull your leg out. So just push your hips way back and then bring that leg forward. And then just reach underneath your chair and pull the bolster out on the other side. And kind of scoot over there so you're not totally screwing up the position of your pelvis, and just put the other leg. And like I said, and then I'm gonna slide way forward to the front edge of my chair seat. The more you go forward, the more stretch. You probably figured that out on the other side. And then you start to straighten the front leg if you can. Woo! My left side's much tighter than my right. And if you want, wow, bring the leg up into the chair. I think I'm going to start doing this every day. Feels amazing. Now, stretching out your thighs is so helpful for hip or low back pain. Having those muscles chronically tight can really contribute to pain in the hips, pain in the low back. So stretching them out, that's why I'm trying to come up with ways that we can stretch these muscles, because they're so tight on just about everybody. We just don't do hip extensions very often in life. Okay, so as I said, be careful, mindful coming out. Start with your front leg and then pull your other knee forward. Okay, and then you can either stretch your legs out in front of you on the ground. I'm going to put mine up in the chair because that gives them a little more opening, and just kind of do a little bit of a reverse position of those muscles. And then we'll come out and come into standing. So you can just put your second chair and your bolster out of the way for this little bit and come to the back of your chair. So those are the kinds of poses that I will come up with whenever I'm trying to stay away from the shoulders. We have to get more creative about the lower body when I'm kind of trying to not do so much with the shoulders. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to turn around so you can see me from the back. So I'm taking my right leg back. I'm gonna bend, this is nothing new, right? So I'm just stretching that calf muscle now through a lunge. But then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some just swinging, making circles, trying to keep the toe on the floor, and just making some sweeping movements. So go ahead and do the calf stretch first, taking the heel down onto the floor, pressing your sacrum forward and down. Relax the shoulders, try to lift the chest. Really keep that back knee straight. And then straighten your standing leg and just start to make these sweeping motions with that back leg, side and around. Okay, and then we'll do the other side. Take the other leg back. Bend the front knee. Come into the heel of the other foot. Like riding a motorcycle outside, really loud. Just relax the shoulder blades. And then straighten your front leg and then do those swinging motions. Getting as big of a arc as you can. Try to keep your toe on the floor. Okay. And then go ahead and take your bolster again, putting it in your chair seat. And we'll just start with the legs about pelvic width wide, feet straight ahead if that's appropriate for your knees and hips. And then coming forward with your hands on your bolster, starting to stretch the legs. So hopefully they're fairly stretched at this point. If not, you can stay in this position. And then you can come down as you feel ready to onto your forearms. And then eventually crossing the arms and resting your forehead on your arms. And just staying here. Walk your arms forward as much as you may need to keep your side waist long. Just pull the hips away from the chair. And a sense into where you're carrying or where your weight is in your legs. Is it more in one leg than the other? See if you can balance your weight on both legs evenly. And then let's go ahead and come up, standing all the way up. And we'll come back into our chair and our normal seated position. And let's put the bolster out on the floor in front of us. And then stretch your legs and just put your ankles or your calves over your chair. So your legs are a little bit up. And then let's circle. The other way. And then take your legs wide, as wide as your bolster anyway. Roll the legs in and roll the legs out from the hips. So go back and forth. Okay, good job. And then let's pedal the feet and ankles. Pulling one foot back, pointing with the other. And then pointing both feet down. Pull both feet back. And then come up, and depending on how much height you want for your bolster, for Baddha Konasana, if you want it on the ground, that's fine. But if you want a little more height, just get your blocks to put your bolster up on. And then we'll come up into Baddha Konasana. And we want to bring the shoulders over the hips. And we're just going to do a little meditation here in this position. Just relaxing those inner groins, relaxing your inner thigh muscles, allowing them to just release, let go. Try to relax your outer hips, letting those muscles go. I do like to grab hold of the front of my chair and just kind of pull back on the chair to really help me to get lift in my spine. I don't have to use all my back muscles so much to keep me upright, to keep me from slumping. You know, this is one of the most popular poses in yoga. Almost, but not quite as popular as downward dog. We don't necessarily do it every class. We didn't do down dog today, so we're doing Baddha Konasana. We got to get one of the two in every class. And then let's go right into Sukhasana, crossing the legs at the shins. And again, sitting upright. Lifting the low back up out of the pelvis. Relax the shoulders. Now pull the chin down and in. Pull the navel back and up. Feel the effect of that on the pelvic floor. Breathe. These are energetic locks. Hold the energy of the body in an upward direction instead of always dropping down into the pelvic floor, lifting up from the pelvic floor. Builds a lot of strength from the inside. And then let's change the cross of the legs, put the other leg in front. Same thing. And then lifting the chest, dropping the chin, pulling it back and up. Relax the shoulders. Draw your navel back and pull it like you're going to pull it up underneath your ribs. And when you do it in this order, usually you can feel the pelvic floor just kind of following along and lifting up. So you have all three locks. So the pelvic floor lock is the Mula Bandha. This belly lock is Uddiyana Bandha. Uddiyana Bandha means flying upwards. And then the throat lock, Jalandhara lock. Throat lock is what that means. Mula Bandha means base lock or root lock. You use these a lot in classical yoga positions to help us to really stay lifted and hold things for much longer periods of time. And then just relax. Just lean back and let go of your legs if you like. Just take a few breaths, kind of notice how you're feeling. And just get a read on your own energy body right now. Has your energy shifted since you started? And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good or better, but maybe just different in direction or different in quality, or just aware of it, period. Most of the time we don't go through life being aware of the state of our energy body. Just relaxing, integrating, and then bringing the hands together at the heart, bowing the head, just thanking yourself, taking this time to check in, tune in, and then respond to what you find through movement, repatterning, neurological shifting from whatever place you were in to a different place. Again, not necessarily better, but hopefully better. Hopefully more balanced anyway. May we have faith to know the divine enriches us, invigorates us, and is present with us throughout our day. And thank you for being here today. Namaste. Okie doke. Thank you for being here. And I will see you hopefully on Saturday. Gosh, can you believe it already? Oh, weeks just fly by. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.